what's up YouTube? This is the G.O.A.T crew here. Blackbird,
Cherno, Zeta.
So we're all heading back to the Speedway today. We got day 3 of NASCAR in Vegas, back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Yesterday we saw a great battle for the Xfinity Series.
A very fun track to watch. Up and coming drivers, a loose racetrack. It came down to the wire. Austin Dillon won it. Congrats to him. Ryan Blaney, where did you come from? He had an extra set of tires that he literally saved for the last 15 laps. Started 11th, put him on, and what does he do? He hard charges and gets to about, I want to say,
I think that was the most exciting
Xfinity Series racing.
That was one of the most exciting races in general I've seen in Las Vegas.
I mean, I still think the most exciting one to me was when Jeff Burton spun out Kyle Busch at the line.
See, I wasn't here for that.
Oh, you weren't here for that one?
No.
Oh, that one was fun. That one was a good one.
I was still in Hawaii. I was still a little boy.
Because we all flipped off Kyle Busch and went back to the pits.
We got Kyle Busch.
But, oh yeah. If yesterday's race with how the track was is any indication of what today's going to be, it's going to be a good track. Very loose once the track heats up. Look for the normal favorites. Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, and yes.
What in the name of sweet Jesus?
What the fuck? It's a Ferris wheel.
Hey, it is. It's a cute little mini Ferris wheel. It's like a 5-card Ferris wheel. That's adorable.
For those of you at home, clearly can't see outside of a car. Apparently, a truck towing a trailer that had a mini Ferris wheel in it got pulled over by a cop.
Sucks to suck.
Presumably, he just wanted a ride.
If it's a mini Ferris wheel, I wonder if it's for many people.
They didn't.
Fuck off.
Right, but
yeah,
anyway.
so like great racing yesterday, really great action on the track, a lot of drama beforehand. So Friday, Jeff Gordon set the pole, but I guess yesterday during the practice session, he actually got into Danica Patrick.
He decided to tap Danica Patrick. I don't know how Ricky Stenhouse feels about that. Ricky, I'm going to email you about it later on and get your take on it.
Hey-o!
But I don't think Jeff's going to be intimidated by that mullet. You guys are both short, so I mean, I don't think the mullet's going to help very much.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not sorry.
But yeah, so that's going to change it because he's now going to the back of the pack. And yeah, it should be a pretty good race.
I'm hoping to still see him do well, though. It's somewhat sad to hear that it's Gordon's last season, but you gotta respect the guy for retiring on a good note and not staying in until he's dead.
Well, I think you know, any of the kids that grew up in the 90s, they remember Gordon as being NASCAR. He was the one who brought NASCAR back to like the younger audience.
Yeah, that was exactly it for me, and that's why I wanted to see him win today.
When I first started watching NASCAR, which I was kind of born into watching NASCAR, Jeff Gordon was the one who got me into it. I watched Jeff Gordon. I wasn't a Jeff Gordon fan at the time. I was a Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt fan. I would bounce between the two because I really didn't know better at the time. But I'm a Harvick fan, and basically Jeff Gordon, how would you say, plowed the way? Paved the way for the California drivers.
No, he plowed the way yesterday by getting into the rear of Danica.
Hey! And we're on that topic again. But anyways, he basically opened the door for any California driver. Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, those California West Coast drivers are Jeff Gordon is who we have to thank for having drivers like that in the series. Kid from California came into the sport, could drive, could wheel that number 92 Baby Ruth Chevrolet, and then Rick Hendrick tapped him to drive that 24 G.O.A.T Warrior car. Rainbow Warrior, I'm sorry.
And he's been consistent ever since.
Yes.
And always one of the more impressive members of the scene, and just how he acts and how he carries himself as a person. Although there were those shaky years.
Well, I think you got to remember that like there was a lot of relations going on in his personal life that caused him to have quite a few issues. I mean, you can look at Dale Jr. for the same time, being through the mid 2000s up until about 2008, 2009. You know, he was still living under the shadow of his father, and he just didn't even care until really recently, which I'm glad to see he's back. Because I mean, obviously, I might be a little bit of a Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan, so.
Well, I mean, also, he got a Hendricks motor.
Oh, yeah.
And he got on Hendricks' team. You want to win races? He was a Hendricks motor.
That's true.
You want to win a title, you get a Hendrick motor. Look what Kevin Harvick did. Kevin Harvick, yes, he was successful at RCR. Kevin Harvick's my favorite driver. I will admit that now. He went from RCR,
I couldn't tell.
a winning team at RCR, but not a championship team. And what does he do at Stewart-Haas Racing? Who gets everything they have from Hendrick Motorsports? He goes out and wins the championship the first year he's a part of that team.
Because Chevy motors are best motors, especially when tuned by Rick Hendricks.
Not agreeing there, even though I'm a Ford fan.
Yep.
But
Why don't you blow up
the odds?
the odds, yeah.
All right.
That's it. Let me know when you have it up, and we'll just basically I'm just gonna cut part of this video out right here.
Let's just keep talking about it.
All right, odds are up.
Oh.
Okay, so all right, hang on. Quiet cut. So let's take a look at the odds now on what we're looking at for who's favored to win. Because I mean, we are in Vegas after all, right? We do live in Vegas. NASCAR's in Vegas. It's a great thing to bet on. So who do we got stacked up for the odds? Top 10 in the odds.
Well, I'm not sure how to read odds all that well yet. I'm still learning that little gambling thing. But right now, at 9-2 odds is Kevin Harvick. Starting 18th, I feel like he's going to come through, and he had a fast car in practice from watching, 5th fastest on the board. Next is Jimmy Johnson at 6-1, and then you have Jeff Gordon up there at 7-1. I'm pretty sure his odds went down from what I saw on Friday after his little practice incident.
Although 7-1 is still pretty damn high.
Yeah, 7-1 is still high. The next spot, in the 4th spot, at 8-1 odds, you got Horseface himself, Brad Keselowski. Yes, I did say Horseface.
Well, there goes any shot of us ever giving him an interview.
I can care less. And also at 8-1 odds
Thanks, Jacob!
is Junebug himself, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr. was fast.
Yeah.
The thing with Junior is 1 and 2. It's a bumpy track. It's a bumpy entry into 1 and 2, and he's a bottom feeder. But when you get through 3 and 4, and you ever watch him race, oh boy,
Top line!
he is on that top line, and he makes it work. If you guys don't know anything about racing, the bottom line is technically the fastest way around the track, but the top line, you can keep the motor wound up, and you can carry a whole lot more speed.
It's not necessarily the fastest way around the track. It's the shortest distance.
Yes, it is the shortest.
But the thing is also, you have to remember, with running the inside line, if you're running consistent inside line, you're not going to have as much wound up speed coming off the bottom. Outside line, you have a longer way around, but you have a lot more wound up speed. The problem being, though, there's not as much of a groove built out there, so it's a lot harder to drive on the outside up there.
I mean, we were watching the Nationwide race, and he was trying to get that groove built in, but his car just didn't. I'm sorry, Xfinity race. I'm still trying to get used to it. They just changed the series name, but
It's a terrible name.
I know. But yeah, he was trying to get that groove in. But I rented the scanner for the weekend, and I was just listening in and what the drivers were saying. Junebug, he had a very loose race car. Going into 1 and 2, it felt like the front end just wanted to plow through the turn just because of those bumps. The bumps through 1 and 2 are a pain in the ass. If you don't have the right setup, your car is not gonna like it. But yeah, let's get back to the odds. After Dale Earnhardt Jr., you have the other member of the Beavis and Butthead crew at 8-1 odds is Joey Logano. I don't get how. He's not that great. Granted, he won the Daytona 500, but we didn't really get to see who would beat him at the line because you had 2 of the best super speedway drivers in the field right behind him, Junebug and Harvick.
Actually, I wonder what would have happened if there had been about a half a mile more of track.
I feel like Harvick and Jr. would have gotten him, and then it would have been Harvick and Jr. at the line.
I mean, they were coming to his butt about maybe 20 miles an hour faster.
I felt like if they had stayed green, Harvick would have probably barely gotten him at the line.
It would have been close.
It would have probably been the closest Daytona 500 finish we've seen since 2007.
Okay. I thought you were just gonna say ever. I'm like, okay.
No,
You said 07. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Harvick and Mark Martin's Daytona 500 is still a memorable one. Why? because Kevin Harvick should not have won that race. I'm a Harvick fan, and everyone is watching that like, where the hell did he come from? That is where Darrell Waltrip gave him the nickname of Mr. Where Did He Come From?
Yeah, he is the closer, isn't he?
That was a very...
He is he was given the nickname the closer, but technically he's been the starter because he normally runs up front now.
Now, if we want to talk about starting, though, I just got to give a shout out to, I mean, I'm not necessarily a fan of Austin Dillon, but sweet Jesus. Yesterday,
he put on a blistering beating on these lower level series guys.
I believe he led about 95% of the race.
Yeah, it was 95%. No, it was like 98% because he had a couple random guys lead like 1 or 2 laps.
What's I'm saying, like 95-ish, I think.
Yeah, I want to say 98 because Chase Elliott led a lap and then Brendan Gaughan led a lap.
The internet can figure that out, don't worry.
Alright, we'll let the internet figure that one out. Right.
He led more than 90% of the race for sure.
But my
Basically,
thing...
the only times he wasn't in the lead was when he was in the pits.
Exactly. My only thing, though, is I'm calling Austin Dillon out on this one, too. Mr. 10-gallon cowboy hat. Why is it you dominate an Xfinity Series race, but when we get to the Sprint Cup Series, you're wrecking? I'd like to know that, sir. And also, by the way, I went and spanked your best of the week time at pole position. How you like me now? But back to the odds. Also at 8-1 odds is Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth, a 3-time winner at Vegas, a Sprint Cup champion at that. He's the reason why they actually changed the Sprint Cup format to get a title. But yeah, I feel Matt Kenseth will be up there. I kind of like the paint job he has on his car this weekend. He's gone back to the DeWalt colors, just like he had in him when he was with Jack Roush in the 17, which I don't know why I liked him better than that. Just saying. But yeah, look for Matt Kenseth.
Everyone knows your paint job determines your speed.
Well, I think another person that a lot of people write off is definitely going to be Carl Edwards. He's won here in Vegas twice. No, yeah, twice.
Yes, twice.
And he's very, very fast. He's very consistent. And he's one of the people that he doesn't run up front all day. But coming into the last third to about a quarter of the race, he'll all of a sudden make a push, and he'll be right up there in the top 5.
Well, speaking of Carl Edwards, he is next on the odds at 10-1. I don't know if I kind of agree with that number. I feel like he's one of those. He should be up there with at least Jimmy and Jeff, because Vegas has always been good to him. He's on a brand new team. Joe Gibbs Racing, they've always been fast on these speedway tracks in their Toyota. So I honestly feel like,
yeah, but they don't have the team coordination.
Well, it's a brand new team. But
exactly, but like compared to the other guys who are above them.
Yeah, I feel like Carl Edwards should be up there a little higher on the odds, but that's just me. Next on the odds, we have a Hendrick driver at 12-1, and that is driver of the 5 car, Casey Kane. Casey Kane, he's an up and down driver. He is a consistent top 10 driver.
Well, I think it's here in Vegas. He's usually running in the top 5.
Yes, exactly. But for the last couple, and we're going back into 2014, the last few speedway tracks, and I know it's a different package from last year, he has not been what he normally is. He has not been what Hendrick looks for. My point of view is he's consistent, but he has his struggles. You know, I don't know if it's just the crew chief mix or it's just the car, or
is he has the shit end of the stick there.
Yeah,
everyone knows the top dollars are going to Gordon and Johnson and Earnhardt.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I think he's the technically the youngest member of the team in tenure being on Hendrick Motorsports. Yeah. So I think it goes Gordon, Jimmy, and then Junior, which it kind of sucks. And by the way,
well, I don't even think he's in his 30s yet, is he?
No, he's talking about time at Hendricks.
Yeah, time at Hendricks. Like totem pole, all that stuff.
Okay.
Like
it
seniority.
Wouldn't even matter. Even if Earnhardt came like yesterday, he would still be considered higher up than him.
Oh yeah.
Just because Earnhardt is such a big monetary ticket, like Earnhardt makes more money outside of the track than he does on the track.
And then back to our the odds, rounding out the top 10 in the odds at 15-1 odds. A little hot. Well, actually, no, because of how he's been the last couple of weeks. I kind of agree with these. Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin is a fast driver.
And he's good at the 1.5 tracks.
He is good at the 1.5 tracks, but
he's very, very fast. He assaults the corners. But he's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with.
The only thing about that is he does not have the best track record at Vegas.
No, he does not.
Vegas is one of those tracks that he cannot get a handle on. If I remember right, I think last year he finished about a lap down. Just couldn't get a handle on the car.
Well, I mean, you look at yesterday. I mean, even Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the Xfinity series, he couldn't even get the car running, and he was a lap down on the finish.
Well,
yeah.
I don't think he was really pushing himself, though. I think people are.
No, he was. The problem was the car was pushing. The car was pushing further than he was pushing.
I don't know. I think people need to learn from the mistake of Kyle Busch and stop running two series like seriously.
Well, this is why I want NASCAR to personally come in and say, all right, you Sprint Cup guys are no longer allowed to do these lesser series.
I think that they should cut it.
Because, in all honesty, the Truck Series and Xfinity Series are for... I know that bike.
For up-and-coming drivers.
Yeah, it's for up-and-coming drivers.
Or I don't think it should be a flat-out, you can do one or the other. I think they should do a split.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, sorry I'm going to interrupt you. Jacob's distracted right now by a dirt bike store, right? That's on the back of somebody's truck.
Dirt bikes are awesome. Anyway.
Rap.
I think the split should essentially be that once you're doing a full-time season in the Sprint Series, then you have maybe 2 or 3 years before you're out of Xfinity. Like, I don't think it needs to be an instant cut. Like, I understand the guys who are just getting into Sprint running both because they really can't afford to run Sprint well.
And they want the seat time and the experience.
Yeah, that's why they're there. They're trying to hook a good team.
The big reason why the Cup guys do, I'm sorry to interrupt you on that, is they do it for the practice. Because basically when they run, when the Xfinity and Cup guys run, it's the same conditions that they're going to have the next day. The only difference is the Xfinity cars are a lot less horsepower than the Cup guys.
Although some of the guys, though, I can see their point in that they own their own teams and they're trying to use their skill to promote their own team to keep them financially afloat.
Well, exactly.
Junior Motorsports and...
Well, this is also like Brendan
Gaughan's
Gaughan.
team.
Yeah. Well, Brendan Gaughan's an RCR car. Yes, he's RCR.
Yeah, but Kyle Busch does the same thing with his team and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's just one of those. I feel like, okay, that's great. Kyle Busch, you want to own a...
Although, actually, to correct myself, he doesn't drive one of his cars in Xfinity.
He'll drive that 54 Monster car every once in a while.
Yeah.
But more than likely, he's normally in the 18 Joe Gibbs car.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Busch, Kyle, get well soon, because you know what? I might not be a direct fan of you. He is. But you know what? What happened to you? Absolutely horrible situation. Hope you recover quickly. I want to see you back on the track, dude, because you are a fast as hell driver.
I hate you with a passion, but...
I respect you.
Yeah.
I respect you.
Man, just because you don't give a shit. Yeah.
Do I need to email him this video?
Yes. I grew up watching Gordon, and I loved Gordon because Gordon was a solid, consistent driver, right? But Gordon wasn't interesting. And then I started watching Johnson, and Johnson was a solid, consistent driver, but he wasn't interesting. And then Kyle Busch comes along, and he's flat out insane. And I love it. He pushes his car as hard as anyone else can on the track and does everything he can with every ounce of his car. And he's had shit cars for most of his career and still been able to get top finishes.
Speaking of insane, and while we're on the topic of bushes,
oh boy,
Kurt Busch. And I'm not saying he's insane. I'm not saying that at all. Did I say that?
No, you did not.
No. Thank you. What I'm saying for insane is the situation he is in.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He was barred from racing by NASCAR
the night before the Daytona 500.
What I think was,
and he was not even charged.
Yeah, he hasn't been charged with any crime.
And it was simply a letter of
letter of recommendation from the Commissioner of Delaware in the Family District Courts. I think. I don't know how to phrase it.
He's not even being charged with anything.
Basically, what happened was Patricia Driscoll was given a restraining order against Kurt Busch, but the only stipulation is she apparently is part of the NASCAR industry. I don't know what she does.
So, Kurt Busch can still be at the track.
Yes, he can still be at the track because of sponsorship and technically work obligations.
So essentially, it says that she cannot prevent him from working.
Yeah, and NASCAR, I still think some fishy stuff is at play here with that whole suspension thing. But NASCAR decided to play judge and jury before he was even accused of anything, and is not being accused of anything from the Delaware District Courts.
Yeah.
They decided to suspend him indefinitely. Well, no charges have been filed. A lot of us are going to social media saying, reinstate Kurt, I stand with Kurt, you know, which, in all honesty...
Well, the biggest thing to me is the fact that, you know, should they allow him, and they should they allow him to, you know, race again in this season, he's not going to be eligible for the championship because in this new rule package, you have to have started every race in the season
before they do the cutoff for the sprint cut, which it kind of sucks. I feel like with the suspension, they may give him a waiver. I mean, they did it.
The thing is, they made that ruling after Tony came back last year with his incident.
You know, honestly, I don't like that rule. I think the rule should follow the car, not the driver.
Which I believe is what the reason they gave it to Tony Stewart last year was because of his car was still at the races.
Yeah.
It was just, he was not behind the wheel.
I think as long as you can feel the team and feel the car, you should be able to continue.
But
the big thing that we all know is basically this is going to be something that's going to be deliberated amongst the higher-ups in NASCAR and amongst their legal team to figure out exactly how to go about this right, because I think they need to allow him to be scored in the season, and I think they need to allow him to be eligible for the chase, because it's completely wrong to have cut him off without any actual legal ramification being charged against him officially by any court.
Well, I think the big thing, though, that they were trying to do is there's so much coming out about different NFL players right now who are just awful fucking people.
I do agree. I'm an NFL fan, and I do agree with that. The players in the NFL need to get their shit together and start being men.
Yeah, so I think what NASCAR is trying to do is what Major League Baseball did, which is, like, be super hard on them. Like, they are treating them like they are public images, which they are. They are people that children aspire to be. So even having what?
You're our child.
I know.
So, anyway, so even like slight discrepancies are getting them in trouble. Now I don't know if the outright ban was correct, but even being in the news for something that was possible like that, he should have probably been at least fine.
Well, and I think NASCAR should have been a little more transparent with their reasoning on that, because they were really mute. They were just kind of like, okay, we're just gonna, you know, ban him for the time being, and without really more explanation on it. They gave very little out about it. Their media representation of that was very short and not forthcoming at all. So I think it did a lot of
more aspects to it.
Am I allowed to give my opinion on why I think they suspended him?
No.
Sure.
Do it.
Okay. So,
now this is an opinion, by the way. So it's
this
not
is an
fact.
opinion.
It's just personal opinion.
This is what I think. All right. First off, I'm going to leave this here. Brian France, you're an idiot. You're ruining the sport. Your granddaddy is rolling over in his grave. Shots fired. But anyways, Patricia Driscoll, like I said, is part of the NASCAR industry. The phrase "health has no fury like a woman scorned" comes into play here. She has even come out and said she wants to ruin his career. I feel like there is money at play here, and she decided to go to the higher-ups in NASCAR and be like, hey, I'll give you this, this, and this if you decide to suspend Kurt Busch.
Or maybe not directly money, but just favors being traded as all industry tops do.
Exactly. That is what I think is going on here. Because I'm going to go back to a story. He's not a very well-known driver. Travis Kvapil was accused and charged with domestic violence. NASCAR, why didn't you do anything about him? And this is a serious topic. He is racing. I don't know if he's racing in today's race, but yes, he is in fact racing still and not suspended or anything. I don't even think the news was touched by you guys, which to me, I'm still confused. I know Kurt Busch is Kurt Busch, and he's had his run-ins, and he's honestly kept himself clean the last couple of years.
Actually, the two Busch brothers, you know, like I've begun to respect them a little more as people, because
It's more Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano.
You hate them.
I hate them with a passion.
Yeah, we're never getting an interview with that though. Then.
Nope.
But they've actually, I think they've taken some media classes from their respective teams, and I think they've actually learned to control themselves a little more. That or else they're just growing up a lot more because they're actually controlling themselves in a public environment quite a lot better. Which, I mean, the thing is, a lot of people give them shit, and I think it's a little bit unfair in the sense that, a lot of people really don't know what it's like to be in the public eye like that, and for one, to be racing at the top level of motorsports, it's a lot of stress on the top. And when the thing is, when reporters ask these really, really driven questions that are supposed to be painting you in a bad light, if you've had a bad day, you're gonna come off with a certain tone. You look at a lot of other athletes, and they have an hour or two. Like, look at a press conference for NFL or MLB, just for example's sake. They're usually about half an hour to an hour after the game or more. A lot of these interviews where a lot of drivers are talking to the media about like what happened, it's right after they got off track. They're still angry. They're still fired up. There's still adrenaline pumping through their blood. I mean, in racing aspect, you want to see adrenaline pumping through someone's blood after a race? Go look at anything John Force has said after a drag race. That man is on.
Why'd I know you were going there?
Dude, that guy is just like on natural adrenaline high all the time.
What's Clint Boyer on then?
Oh, Clint Boyer is just awesome.
So, yes, we will be listening to his audio. I wish I had a recorder so I can record his audio and let you guys hear it.
Clint,
next year.
I'm just saying, when it does come time for Clint Boyer to retire from racing, I'm on Team Clint Boyer in the media booth.
Yeah, because I feel like when Darrell Waltrip comes out of the media booth, who's going to be next in line to be that character? Clint Boyer.
Oh, hell no, Darrell Waltrip's going to be in there a long time, man. But look, imagine Darrell Waltrip and Clint Boyer, exactly.
Oh, God. That would just make broadcast so much better to hear both of those two characters in the same booth.
So, to cycle back a bit, though, that's one of the things that, like, with Gordon leaving this season, like, that people always respect about Gordon is he'd get out after the end of a race, and someone would have clearly wrecked him, and it would have been their fault. And he'd be like, yeah, I don't know what happened back there. Like, it seemed like someone he probably hit me. I don't know the situation, though.
He's one of the cooler head prevails type of driver.
Yeah. I mean, of course, there's been situations where that didn't happen.
Gordon and Clint Boyer, for example, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Clint Boyer move that fast, by the way. Olympic style. Clint, if you get to watch this, you need to go try out for the Olympics, my friend.
Man, that guy
or maybe even here. You know what? We'll go do the Slow Man Olympics and we'll call it Team Clint.
We should have something new.
Team Duck Commander. Yes.
Called the Motorsports Olympics.
Yes. Hashtag Team Clint.
Oh God.
Are we gonna start that hashtag?
Sounds pretty wrong.
I think we need to get that one trending. Go fans, become NASCAR fans. Just start hashtagging Team Clint.
So anyway, on something completely unrelated to something that totally sounds wrong.
Yes.
Well, I had nothing else to go from there. I was just trying to make sure one of you guys came up with something.
Yeah.
Man, that's actually relying on me and actually thinking I'm smart. Come on, everybody watching already knows that I'm stupid. I have no clue what the fuck I'm talking about.
And I'm smart, but I'm only smart with computers.
I'm smart, but I'm dumb.
No, you're just dumb.
But yeah, the whole Kurt Busch thing. I know he's had his run-ins with the past, and Black Bear touched on a very, very touchy subject of when you get out of a race, or when the race is done and you're out of the car. Even I have never wanted to be talked to after I've had a bad race. Yeah, like give me like 10, 15 minutes to cool off, get some water in me, and then talk to me. Don't just come up to me and shove a microphone in my face.
Albeit the thing is, the media does that for a reason though, because it generates. Hi, Mr. Highway Patrolman. The media wants to perpetuate this certain adrenaline that's about racing. I mean, it does make for interesting news comments because there are things that get played back on Sports Center. The things that make it to the local news stations.
Yeah.
On the media rewinds.
And the thing is that NASCAR's taken a page from the WWE book and sensationalized everything.
Exactly. Take for example what happened last year with Brad Keselowski, Matt Kenseth, and Jeff Gordon.
The thing is, you know what? I'm just going to interject real quickly.
Okay.
That is actually one of the things that's actually saving NASCAR right now.
Yeah.
Because if you're reading, I was reading through a recent article posted by Jeremy Clarkson. He was talking about what motorsports are doing wrong, what they're doing right. I mean, there's great motorsports out there. Formula One, GT3, World Rally Championship. The thing is, they're great racing, but there's no fanfare, there's no excitement, there's no drama. It's very, very cut and dry. Albeit there's some great driving going on. World Rally Championship, WRC, some of the most exciting driving you can ever see. Some of the most talented drivers in the world. You've got to have the biggest balls. Biggest balls in the world. Big balls. But the thing is, there's the reporters are so bland on it. There's no real big post-race interview. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, we did a really good run today through the forest, and the cars worked great, and we look forward to the next stage. And yeah, it's just like, okay, cool. There's no drive from the reporters. There's no, you don't have Darrell Walsh about there going, boogity, let's go racing, boys and girls. Oh, there's a crash in turn 3. Oh, you don't have that kind of fanfare going on.
Wait. Or his little tirade in a V8 supercar. Ha! You didn't think we'd pull that up, did you, DW? I went there.
Oh god. But the thing is, you don't have this fanfare that drives the emotion for it. So I mean,
yeah.
NASCAR does have it right there. That being said, I think they need to do a little bit cleaning up on what they focus on, because I think it's driving a little bit of a negative light on the sport as well.
The few things I think NASCAR honestly needs to fix that they've changed in the past 2 years, and I'm gonna go out here and say it. And yes, my driver did win the championship, but I feel like they need to fix the championship. The format, I know it causes excitement and making it come down to one race, but in all honesty, if people were doing the math and stuff, and if you went off of 2013's point system, Jeff Gordon would have had his 5th title, and I will agree and say that. Another thing I think they need to change is the qualifying format. And this is something I've been preaching to this guy and a bunch of others. I think this group qualifying thing is a clusterfuck, and it causes more harm than good. We saw at Daytona, it caused a wreck to happen. Now, the only place I would truly understand NASCAR wants to do group type qualifying is the road courses. That's understandable. I know there aren't very many actual series that do it anymore, right?
There actually is a lot of series, but the thing is, even then, it can create a lot of controversy. But there was a situation about 2 years ago in the World Touring Car Championships, and it made a lot of news because literally the entire qualifying session was a bunch of touring cars going on a track at about 40-50 miles an hour, and they were just staying in one tight group because nobody. Okay, now we're going left,
I guess.
I think they're finally everyone left now. So
I think you can go right now.
I think we can go. I think we can go straight through, Brett.
can we?
Yeah, follow the highway, boy.
No, well, I'm getting cut off now. So
No, that guy's turning in now too.
Oh, look out! Oh, go. We're very undecisive with things, people.
Undecisive is not really one.
I don't care.
see, they did just open up that lane right there. Son of a bitch.
Oops. It's all good. We probably parked.
Son of a bitch, city.
But yeah, the qualifying format is, I think, a little on the ridiculous end, only because.
So we're gonna loop back here.
We can head over there to those lots because our gate to our thing is right there. We don't have to park out here.
Well, my parents are out here, and we can go get food.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Everybody loves food and beer. It's NASCAR.
They didn't bring the beer.
Oh. What?
We can stop at that gas station and get beer.
No.
It's too late now.
I know.
It's too late.
I blame my mother.
Turn back
Apparently,
now.
my dad was rushing her out to get the beer, but I doubt it.
We had to loop around for General.
Alright. But the qualifying format needs to go. I liked it better, especially when you go into Daytona and you want to see who has the absolute fastest car on the track by themselves. You're going to be fast drafting, but I personally want to see, all right, who can make their car go balls to the wall freaking fast.
Well, the thing is, the old style was boring. No one wanted to watch it.
But the new style screws a lot of people over.
It does, actually.
Well, the thing is, the job of NASCAR is not to make a good race series, it's to make money. And whatever makes more money is what they're going to go with.
That is true, but I mean, I know.
And unfortunately, controversy causes viewership.
But from what I read a lot of the social media articles and the comments people put on social media, and a lot of fans don't like the format as it is. They liked it better when you would see the single car runs, so then you could really see who can go fast.
Well, what do you guys think? You know, sound off in the chat, and let us know what you guys think of the qualifying format. Which one you like better?
I personally love the single car runs. To me, it was kind of one of those, all right, we can see who can actually make even on this track right here. I remember the one year me and Blackbird here went into qualifying, and we were watching it. We got to sit on pit road. We saw the most extreme setups, and I'm pretty sure Casey Kane hit 200 miles an hour.
There were a few people that were just touching 200 miles an hour going into turn one.
Because what they were doing was they were just basically making their setup to where they could literally hold it all the way through.
Well, there was also other problems with the original style. Basically, the original style, people would build or modify their cars for pole positioning, like certain amounts of gasoline, a little bit of tweaking here and there, just to get the fastest single driver lap, which wouldn't work in a pack setting. Also, like I said, it doesn't make any money. You gotta make money, that's the primary
Honestly,
focus.
I felt like qualifying on Friday was a little bit bigger than normal, but I felt the old single car runs, I don't know, I feel like the more people would go to that, because you're right. They run two different setups back then. There was a qualifying trim and then race trim. But I mean, why not do the single car runs?
One of the problems though that came up with single car runs that they can sell for TV more is now at the group runs, it's a shorter, more condensed TV session because people don't like to watch long, drawn-out sessions unless you're very, very much into the numbers like you and I are. These people are going to the right lot. We're going to the left.
That's just my opinion on things. I do feel like Brian France is screwing up NASCAR.
Well, you know, let's let them do what they do this year, and then what they're gonna do is they're gonna look back at everything that happens, and they're gonna make any changes that they need to.
They're gonna feel like this year was a success.
Are you really trying to sneak up the inside over here? I'm squeezing you. I'm gonna squeeze you down here.
Panic revving. Pulling Austin Dillon. Put him in the grass.
Look how this BMW's blocking him too. Yeah, someone's trying to be a douchebag and pass up on the side of us.
Oh, they're seeing it on the video.
So anyway.
Oh, we gotta go that way.
Oh, that's another entrance.
Oh, it's the lucky lot 7.
Okay.
I don't have. I can get us past for that one this year.
But anyway.
Oh yeah, I forgot we can see the Thunderbirds today, don't we?
Yep.
I saw them.
They should actually be at the U.S. Air Force booth in about half an hour. We can go take a photo with all the Thunderbirds.
Yeah. G.O.A.T team photo?
Although they're not going to be performing here in Nevada this year, and actually there is no air show at Aviation Nation. Yep.
God damn.
There's no air show?
No, there's no air show. It's going to Georgia.
So we don't have an air show this year?
Nope.
What the hell?
Wait, they're moving our air show to Georgia?
No, the last air show, the one that we normally have our scheduled on, is going to be happening in Georgia. It was a schedule conflict, and they decided to take Georgia instead.
Oh.
That was the U.S. Air Force decisioning, so unfortunately we don't get to see.
And also guys, I'm not an Air Force guy at all. I'm a Navy kid. You know, it's just, I still like to see the Thunderbirds fly. I love to see any kind of plane fly. But, so does that mean we gotta go to a Navy air show then?
Maybe. Anyway,
I'm already planning to go to a couple.
we're parking right now, guys. We're gonna go head into the track.
Anyways, it's been a good chat. Looking forward to the race today.
Go Harvick.
So,
also, we have a gentleman's bet going.
well, but before, like I was going to say, actually, before we go anywhere, so we're going to basically talk our favorite drivers just real quickly. So, I know I'm going for Junior Harvick, right?
Yes,
Who are
sir.
you going for?
All right, 10,001 odds. Kyle Busch. If he actually gets in the car and wins, I get all your money.
He's gonna have hand controls.
I'm kidding. I'm gonna go for Jeff Gordon.
He's gonna run hand controls.
Get better, buddy. Seriously, it's a shit way to have to sit out.
Yeah,
a
get
season.
back so Harvick can kick your ass on the track.
Anyways, look forward to a good race. But thank you for joining us on this little car chat, and we'll see you later. This has been the GOAT team. This is Blackbird,
Trino.
Zeta.
and we'll catch you later.
See ya.